because there's so much to learn in game design. There's so many different areas that you have to master to know how to make a game completely. And I hope to equip you with all of those skills by the time you leave this class, or most of them anyway. Okay, so we're starting something new today called the Unity Essentials Pathway. And on the Unity Learn website, a pathway is basically a big section on a particular area of Unity. So, starting out for the essentials, a lot of this may be review to you if you've used Unity before, but that's good. It means you can fly through the assignments faster. All right, so let's watch this quick intro video to the entire pathway, and then we're going to look at Mission 1, Editor Essentials.
Welcome to Unity Essentials, your first step in learning to create interactive experiences within Unity. My name is James, and I'll be your guide throughout this pathway. If you've never used Unity before, or if you know a little bit about Unity but want more of a comprehensive introduction, you're in the right place. Learning Unity unlocks new creative possibilities and career opportunities. With Unity, you have the power to create amazing interactive games, worlds, and simulations across industries and styles, and then publish those experiences on different platforms. In this pathway, you'll gain a foundation in key areas of Unity development. First up is the Editor Essentials. You'll get comfortable moving around the Unity interface and learning how to navigate 3D space with ease. Next is 3D Essentials. You'll dive into 3D creation, designing a room environment with a bouncing ball physics simulation. Then, in Audio Essentials, you'll bring a kitchen scene to life with a variety of immersive sounds. To learn the Programming Essentials, you'll code basic interactivity for a character who can collect objects in a living room. After that, there's 2D Essentials. You'll discover the unique aspects of 2D game development by creating a top-down version of a familiar scene. Finally, in the Essentials of Publishing, you'll learn to package your work as a shareable portfolio project, building it for different platforms. By the end of this pathway, you'll have a strong understanding of Unity's core features, preparing you to develop more advanced and specialized skills. You'll also have a collection of fun, engaging environments customized with your own personal touch. So, if you're ready, let's get started on your creative journey by learning the Unity Essentials.
All right. You all ready? He asked if you're ready. Are you ready? Yeah? Or you just want to sit here the rest of the trimester? I mean, we're here for a reason, right? Let's learn something. Okay, so diving into the first mission, which let's go back and look at the modules real quick to see how much we're going to cover this week. So this week is just going to be the Editor Essentials and 3D Essentials, okay? So for each one of those missions, you're going to complete all the tutorials that are on the Unity Learn website. And I give you a link to each one so it's easier for you to get to. And there's a quiz at the end of each one, but they're super short quizzes, and I think that you'll have an easier time with them than you did with my Struct quiz, because these are made by Unity. They're not as, I guess, vague. So be aware of that. Your quiz grades are what is ultimately important for your grade in this class. It doesn't mean it's the only grades in this class, so make sure that you actually do all these tutorials step by step, because you're actually going to be following along step by step in Unity. You're not just watching a video, you're actually doing something step by step by reading instructions. Okay. So in the first mission, Editor Essentials, there are, let's see, back to the modules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tutorials to get through. Okay. They're pretty short. As long as you apply yourself, you should be good. The very first tutorial is pretty much something you don't have to do. This is just here so that you can install Unity at home. So this first tutorial walks you through exactly that. What is the Unity Hub? We've already talked about this when we made our 2D platformer project. But so just make sure that you read these, each one of these, even if it doesn't have something for you to do in Unity, and mark it complete as you go along. So that make sure you're logged in, of course, to your Unity ID in the upper right. because as you go through these, you get experience points, which you then get badges and different awards as you get more experience points. So please make sure that you are actually doing this stuff on the Unity Learn website, as well as your requirements in Canvas. Okay. So that was the first assignment. You pretty much don't do anything because we already installed Unity and you already know how to do it. But make sure you do go onto the Unity Learn website, you're logged in, and that you go through and mark them complete. Okay. Next one is called Open the Unity Essentials Project. And I want to walk you through the first thing here before I just say go ahead and do it. It does tell you step by step, but a lot of students do get confused on this process. So I'm going to share my screen to all of you. See if this actually works. Does that work over your blank screen, or do I have to unblank it? Okay. All right, so here's the process. On the second tutorial, open the Unity Essentials project. I actually want to see what that looks like on your screen. All right, so right at the top, it says materials. There's a zip file. You need that project to be able to actually use all these tutorials that they set up for you. So like they showed in the video, that little playground scene and in the bedroom scene, all that is within this zip file, okay? So in that second tutorial at the top, you're going to click the zip file to download it. And you're going to go inside the zip file. Remember, we learned this already. When you have a zip file, you got to take the contents of it and drag it out to your desktop, okay? It's always a good place to put it. When it's done extracting or transferring out of the zip file, then you can open it inside of the Unity Hub, okay? So I think I already have it pulled out. Well, while that's transferring, let's go back to our modules and keep explaining. Okay. So that was opening the project, and continuing on, they have you open a specific scene in the project, because with Unity, you have a project folder, and then within that, you have Unity scene files, which is each level that you're making. Okay, so they do show you exactly how to do that, how to add the project to the hub. Add from disk. Scrolling down. Now, here's something that I do want to go over with you, because this always confuses students as well. They do explain it very well here, but I want to show you what happens when you actually open it. Okay. Yeah, so that tutorial, they don't have you open the scene. It must be the next one. Yeah. Explore the interface of the editor. So in this one, you're going to have this little robot guy. I'll go ahead and jump to the tutorial. And the whole point of this tutorial is to get used to the user interface of Unity itself. It is quite a bit different from Struct that we were using. I think it's a lot better. It makes a lot more sense. Things aren't broken. But it is a little more complicated because of that. Okay. So in this tutorial, you're going to have the first thing, again, is to open up the scene. So number 3, open up a scene from the project window. And if you see in the instructions here, and you know this is something you need to do in Unity because it is numbered, right? 1, 2, 3. So they're telling you to go inside the Assets folder, Unity Essentials folder, the Scenes folder, and double-click -1 starter scene file to open it. So as soon as our thing finishes transferring, I'll show you how to do that. Okay. So we transferred the folder out of the zip file. There we go. We can choose Add in the Unity Hub, and we've got it right there on our desktop, the folder that we need, Unity Essentials Projects. Okay, so here's the confusing part that a lot of students are like, Mr. Brooks, I don't know what to do. So it's in the instructions, but please watch this. So it says, to open your project, you need this specific version. And they're telling you that because this project was made with that version. But we don't have to have the exact same version. It's okay. We can just scroll down and choose the version that we have that is closest without going under. So it says we need 2022.3.30. So on my machine here, I'm going to choose 2022.3.40. It's okay if it's slightly above. You just want to make sure that it starts with the first four numbers, 2022. Okay. Then you open it. It's going to give you a warning saying, hey, you're going to change the version. It's okay. And then it'll warn you one more time when it's coming up if you want to continue without backing up. Yes, it's okay. Continue. All right. So that's the hurdles you have to do to get the project open. It is all explained, like I said, here on the Unity Learn tutorial for opening it. But I'd like to go over it with you guys in person at the beginning of the week so that less confusion happens. All right, just past that in the modules, I've made a document, super simple one-page document that shows and explains all the main parts of Unity Editor. All right. I'm not going to explain them to you, but this is here for your reference. You can print it out if you want to. It's just a super simple identifying which parts of the interface do what. Very important to know what these all do. All right. Now I have a completed interactive example here on the modules of that first tutorial. Explore the user interface. As soon as Unity comes up, I'll show you that. Close this. Okay. So in this first example, they have used this little robot guy. And this is the completed version. And you can see I can jump and I can get that star and it makes a sound and everything. But by default, the project, that star is too far up and too far away for the robot to actually jump and get it. So your goal in this tutorial is to change the location of that star. And so that's exactly what they show you how to do. But in the end, you'll be able to run and jump and get that star with your robot. I do try to include all of my completed interactive examples like this in your module, just to make it a little more comprehensive for your understanding. So it's right there. It says get the star. That is my completed version that you can click on to play. Okay, next one. Master 3D scene navigation. So this is something that is a little different than struct, okay? There's some things that you can do in navigating that make a lot more sense and are more powerful, but a lot of it is the same. So if we go jump into that real quick. They teach you about the fly-through mode, right? So just like in struct, whenever you hold down the right mouse button, that allows you to look around in the scene, just like you're in a first-person shooter. And WASD lets you fly around the scene, okay? So this is a really great way to move around the scene because you're already used to navigating that way, holding a right mouse button down, and WASD keys to fly around, which is the same as struct. But there's a lot more to how you navigate your scene. So make sure you go through each of these, doing them exactly how they say, and they teach you how to orbit around specific things. One great thing about the tutorials here is they have step-by-step instructions, but then they also give you these video examples showing what you're supposed to do. Okay. So as you're going through this, and I'll go ahead and show you as soon as we open up Unity here. It's taking a while to open. Something to know, it does take a while to compile everything and open up the first time, but it'll open up quicker from then on. All right, while that's still opening, let's keep explaining. Okay. So after you kind of learn how to fly through the scene and navigate a little better, where are we at? Here. They're going to test you on it. They're going to test you by making you fly through all these rings around the side of the level. So again, I can show that to you when the project comes up. But basically, you're just going to unhide these rings because they're not visible by default. So in your hierarchy, well, here comes Unity. Okay. Yeah, so on these rings here, the main rings object is hidden, so you have to turn that on to be able to see the rings. But then they're going to use that to have you prove that you know how to use the fly-through navigation mode to fly through these rings. So that'll kind of give you the skills necessary to get good with flying through the level. Okay. Yeah, they show you exactly that. There's the rings. You can see them. Here we go. So what you're doing is frame, orbit, and zoom. So frame is with the F key. So you select one of the first ring, hit the F key to focus or frame it. Then zoom through it, or orbit around to orient yourself, and then zoom through it. All right, next tutorial is called Design a Mural in the Scene View. So in this tutorial, they're going to give you a bunch of set of pieces in the kind of like a tangram puzzle, if you've ever seen one of those, where they give you a bunch of shapes and tell you to make something out of it. So it's basically what you're going to do here. You're going to unhide the mural object. Looks like that. And then they're going to have you change the coordinate system so that everything you're working with has your transform in the same orientation, so it's easy to move everything around. So you do want to switch that to global so that your transform arrows are all facing the right direction. Okay, so then they give you all these pieces, and you're going to choose one of these examples below and make your monuments out of it just by dragging them into the correct orientation. So dragging them over and rotating them so that your pieces look like this. You can, of course, make your own design. I support that, but I do want you to do at least one of these also. Okay. So they do break it down nice here with videos. You can see it moving it over by dragging the red arrow, moving it up with the blue arrow. You can also directly change the values over in the inspector too. Like if you know you want it to be exactly 90 degrees rotation, you can type it into the transform, which I think they talk about in a minute. Yeah, here's rotate. So pretty self-explanatory. You just need to orient the pieces, move the pieces into place to look like one of these other objects. Okay. Next tutorial, and at the end of each of these missions, they have a tutorial like this where they give you more things to try. And in these tutorials, they give you 3 options. Okay, so I only require you to do one of the options. They have easy, medium, and experts. Of course, in my version, I did all 3 of them. And I encourage you to do the same if you want to. So the medium challenge is to make another mural. So I did all 6 of them. You can just do 2 of them if you want. Oh, yeah. And one of the other challenges here, the easy one, was to complete the rings fly through again using Q and E. So Q and E lets you go up and down while you're flying. I'll show that here. Whoops. Activated something. Go away, Harpa. Okay. Okay. You know what that is. Moving on. So the last challenge was experts to put the slide together. So there's a hidden tube slide in the playground. You can turn that on and you'll see it kind of not put together. So your challenge is to put the tube slide together completely. You see a demonstration of how to do that here. There we go. Okay, and then you'll be at the end of the first mission for Unity Essentials. Again, there's 5 questions on the quiz. And what you should do, and I have a link for it there, is to take that quiz on the Unity Learn website first. And you can retake it as many times as you want there before you take the one on Canvas, okay? Because your first attempt at the quiz in Canvas is the one that goes in the gradebook. So please make sure that you get the practice quiz perfect first before you attempt the real quiz. Okay,